Hey, how's it going? Um, Please look at my signs before I get started. And so what's happening? Okay. I'm a little conscious of my hair because I have treatment in there and it has Epsom salt. So if you see, I probably should have mentioned this on prior occasions. I'm going to do it regardless. Anyway, the treatment has Epsom salt in it. So if you see particles, that's what it is in my hair. But that's been for months and I haven't mentioned it till now. Oh well. I have big gnarly dandruff. It's all the additives in the food here. What am I doing? Okay. So, I don't know about you, but I think people are really stressed out. Not just people, I also have been experiencing levels of stress. And also, you're sort of commiserating with everyone around you, and everyone, like, I feel like, even where I am, where I'm not not so popular in my general surrounding area. I mean, it depends. Like, there are degrees. But even here, like on the premises where I live, not as popular as you might think. I have no idea what you think, but anyway, I feel like right now everyone is like, wow, really feeling we're all in this together vibe, which I'm happy. I'm very happy about that because I prefer it to the alternative. But it's a shame it had to come to this for it to get this way, because I wanted it to always be, as much as possible where we're sort of have more solidarity for our fellow working person than the people who now at the top openly, and they're out. There's some of them are queer. Oh dear. It's kind of a mess. But yeah, I mean, I think I want to address something that I have been seeing since like day one, which was not a great day. And by day one, I mean day one of the current president's administration. And hey, I'm also like not happy about the way things have been going. I'm laughing because I'm remembering the Oval Office wannabe scolding of Zelensky it was Friday, so it is now stupid o'clock a.m. in the United States. Hold on, I'm trying to get my other phone over here so I can see. It's 3:45 a.m. I have some very circumspect music on. It's so circumspect I can't hear it. I'm just gonna make a little adjustment here. Whoa, I just had I don't know what that was. I was gonna say, okay, shut up. I was gonna say a deja vu. I don't know what it was. It was something like that, and that's probably. Is that? I don't know. That might be too loud, and I don't want to get in trouble. Where's that down? Okay. Fingies crossed. No strikes. I don't need that stress on top of everything else. I'm obviously, I mean, I don't know if you can tell if I'm stressed out or not. Today is a not day, fortunately. But anyway, what I started to say is I think I want to address something that I started seeing on day one, which was, oh my God, I can't believe it's only the first day. And it's like, girl, pace yourself. And there was something else. I'm talking about Blue Sky right now. And so also something else happened early on. And this was before, like, I don't know who will hear this and know what I'm talking about, like specifically, but when I joined Blue Sky, it was the day before the election, and I didn't really try to scope out the size and scale of it. I just went to check it out, immediately was happy, and was like, I like it here. Nothing more needed to be said. And this was before Brazil joined the collective on there, like being able to sign up and join, I guess. So, and that was cool. And the reaction of everyone was like, "Yay, Brazil! Welcome! Come, come, come!" So there was some, you know what it was reminding me of is like when your lousy satellite dish television provider is arguing with your favorite network, and then your favorite network is just not on for 3 months, so you have to do other things to see your show if you care about stuff like that. But it's just like this, really, you guys can't work this out? Like, I don't know. That's how I feel. I don't have that. I don't have any kind of, it doesn't matter. It's not important. What I was going to try to get to, if I could stay off the sidetrack, is people were like, here's a palette, or here's a timeline cleanse. And I was all, my timeline doesn't need cleansing. Go away with that. I didn't say the last part. I didn't say the go away with that. But the tone was clear. I was like, really? I don't know what's happening on your timeline. I think I said I don't know what's happening on your timeline, but I'm very happy with this one. Go take that somewhere else. Some nicer version of go take that somewhere else. You know, and they were like, oh, well, then it's just here's some happy stuff. But see, that's the thing. It's like, can we not be in doom when we don't have to be yet? Because, I mean, I'm trying to figure out how to say this without being a dick, but I think I've already dicked it up already. Sorry, folks. This is what happens here. I just feel like I don't want to capitulate before like the ship has sunk or whatever. That was probably a really mixed metaphor. You're welcome. Basically what I'm saying is, definitely, I think, keep an eye on the ball, keep all of the eyes on the ball, be a spider about it, but I mean, if you're not like in misery, like I'm just, listen, my whole existence, including the phone camera thing that I'm talking to you through on, was paid for by social services. So I'm like, I have to say I'm jittery about the possible future, but I don't know what that is yet. As of right now, here I still am, cozy and indoors, just gonna try and think about that still being a thing. Like, just when I focus on my future, it is still in the house here, and thank you to like all of the forces that made that a thing. Please, other forces, maintain the cohesion if you wouldn't mind. Call me selfish. I have my little place, and I don't want to have anything else any less. I don't think that is an unreasonable feeling, you know. And even as I'm thinking it, I can hear, I don't know who's saying it, but it's like, oh, well, there's homeless people out there, and listen, things have to go very well for me, or at least maintain the status quo, so that I don't join the ranks of those outside living people. Like, I really don't want to talk about it anymore. And so, yes, I am also like thinking about stuff, but I can't dwell on it, you know? Like, I can't let myself go there, because I have learned that if you want to think about, if you want to go low, then low is so glad to welcome you in like a thick, sticky syrup, like tar in a tar pit. And like, it's persuasive if you're in the state of mind where you can get like scooped up like a fish in a net, you know. So okay, I was gonna say, so you have to, you know, like, have the state of mind, like, keep a mindset about it where you know where the pitfalls lie and how to avoid them. And when I say you, I mean me, but if it applies, help yourself. And so I thought, I don't want to talk about, really, that's about as heavy as I want to get about what I wanted to talk about this time. So I decided to use these cards. What are they called again? Here, I don't have to say it. There you go. And they are, yes, jokey, if that is what they look like. So that's the cards that I pulled from today, because you know, I want to keep it a little lighter. It's not going to come out on Sunday because my current set of situational stuff. But I'm recording this on Sunday, so yeah, it's already past Sunday. I said that. But anyway, so here's the cards that I pulled to, you know, we're not going to be heavy today. So first card I pulled was this one. Meditate. I think we're all familiar with that, what that is. There's a lot of symbols on here, but it also looks like a bandana, so I'm not sure if it's like, I mean, the bandana stuff might be some kind of yoga. I don't know about paisley looking stuff, but I feel like there's a relation. So yeah, meditate, or meditate. It's better than sitting around doing nothing. It's certainly better to clear your mind as best you can and let, you know, whatever's gonna drift in from on high, I suppose, because then you have opened that hatch, than it is to sit around and think about how terrible it is or how terrible it can be. Like, don't go there. Here's the next card. Seeking cosmic consciousness. Notice there's a red spot on the top of that person's head. I don't know about you, but often when I meditate or when I'm tuning in, I don't know how to define exactly what I'm tuning into. You can select your own designation for what I'm saying, but there are sensations that take place, like the top of your head, like your crown. I was talking to my friend one time about visiting the garden that's my neighbor's across the road there, and it's beautiful. Like, I just love going by there when I do my exercise when I'm able. I like to, my route takes me by her garden, like, on purpose. You know, if I can fit it in, I go by there. And so I had stopped one day and was just inhaling the scents and aromatherapy, you know, like, I used to laugh about it, but I can't anymore. It's a thing. And, you know, anyway, don't want to get too lost in the garden. I mean, I do, but not right this moment. But when I'm standing there and I'm like talking to my friend, I'm like texting also with my friend while I'm standing there, and I'm like, oh my god, my crown chakra just opened up like an artichoke, because that's what it felt like. And other times it'll be like a back of your head thing. There was a show, dang it, if I can remember to put it on there. There was a show, it was a Netflix sci-fi show, and it had the guy who plays the white father of the main family on that NBC show La Brea. His first name is spelled Ioin. I think it's supposed to be Jan or Ian or something like that, the pronunciation. But in that show's like Night Flyers, I think. I'm gonna have to look it up. Hold on. The way I pronounce that name is completely wrong, but it's a mnemonic. So, in that show, one of the characters started going through something. They're in space, and I don't want to give away too much, and I also don't remember the details, but I might watch that again because it was really good. Like, I can't believe I don't remember because I was so into it. Anyway, the character was played by Isaiah. Dang, I always do this. He was on ER. No, not ER. Grey's Anatomy, and he got kicked out. Isaiah Washington. And they end up having to put him in like a suspension tank or something. And after the thing happened to him, the back of his head started growing out like an ET. Like, if you've ever seen Ancient Aliens, where they're always talking about like the head binding the humans were doing when they hypothesized that ETs were there, and they're the ETs with the elongated back of the head, which is not as common as like the gray, or maybe the gray has it and you only see them from the front, but their profile might have this protuberant back of their head. Way sidetracked, but anyway, sometimes when I'm meditating, that area will feel like it's active. So maybe I'm thinking, when you meditate, like, you activate. I'm trying not to do a Johnny Cochran joke. So anyway, just kidding. But seriously though, basically, no, that's what the card says. Just kidding, but seriously though. Yeah. The next one is to become more fluid, add wine. And the other side says to chill, try an ice cube. You know, wine, I've been places with wine as a lubricant, as a liquefier. And the problem is with wine is it gets to feeling good when you've imbibed, and then you want to just do it all the time, and then that becomes a problem. Or if it's not that problem, you like it so much you do a ton when you drink it, like just gallon, like too much, and then stupid things happen. And so I was kind of where I've been with it. But also I could have had like a jug and had it for like 3 or 4 weeks, because I could just come home from work and have a glass or 2 glasses and be done. But for me, the benefits of not having it outweigh the benefits of having it or drinking it. It's just how I feel about wine. To chill, try an ice cube. That's what you get on that one. I know it works for people. Anyway, breathe like you know how. I was already breathing, but I was inspired to breathe deeply. Inhale the good shit, exhale the bad shit. We forget about that, but isn't that funny? I remember being a child and watching things like Gilligan's Island or Bewitched or something, or even cartoons, and you would hear it a lot. Inhale the good air, exhale the bad. That's actually a good idea. Like, you're going to breathe anyway. If you characterize it that way, you're utilizing the effort. It's not even an effort, it's autonomous, but you can tune your breathing to different functions, right? Deep, short, hold it, don't breathe. You can do a lot of stuff with the breath. The don't breathing, it's weird. I personally have gone through an evolution with breathing. Deep breathing is still something that I'm working on, like making it something I just always do. But like, I've gone through an evolution. There was a period where I was holding my breath. This was before I had any of this Kundalini stuff happening or awakening business, but it definitely, like, if I would get like my blood pressure rising for whatever reason, fear, anger, whatever, I would find myself holding my breath, and then I'd be like, what are you doing? This is not good right now. And then years later, once I did start getting into this metaphysical stuff, I guess, I just saw it briefly, and I, for some reason, didn't stop to see what all it said, but I was looking at something about breathing, and there was a mention of there being something to the process of holding your breath. So I guess I need to find that again, because if it's part of the process, then you do it for a reason. And then I would like to know what the reason was, because I was kind of doing it involuntarily. I have no idea. I wasn't even thinking about it mattering the way that I breathed, except for actually doing it. Like, the holding your breath is not doing it. That leads to permanent not doing it. And that made me think of something else, like with the good air and bad without. I was thinking about the permanent record that you grow up. I don't know if you still grow up hearing that. I'm really old, and so they might say other things to children these days. But there is a permanent record that schools keep. It's called your transcripts. And the funny thing about it is, when I was young and in school, like, the teachers, especially like the older you were, like the higher grade you were in, the teachers were really like, this is the wrongish term, but they would be all, man up, like, adult up. You gotta, like, I don't know, like, drop the childish ways. Like, they just began to treat you differently. Like, the lessons came at you differently, I felt. But there was a lot of emphasis on this permanent record. And then I was like, well, when you're done with college, the record ends, right? I don't actually know if that's the case. I mean, there's definitely a surveillance state. I don't know to what extent it is, especially when it comes to that. But when you get into the metaphysical thing, then you learn about the Akashic record, and that's like the record of, that's your permanent record of everything you ever did in every lifetime. And also, kind of everyone else has their own, like, volume and access to the same library, but different, because it's theirs and it's their ancestry and their past life evolution. And it's just like, isn't that funny? we say things and then we don't realize that there's like a connection in this area that many of us think is hooey and not worth taking seriously, but things happen and people change and your perceptions change and you grow to think of things differently. And so, I don't know, maybe you find yourself sitting around going, isn't that funny? So here's the last one. All blissed out with nowhere to go. Is there lavender on there? It is lavender. Oh, and some LSD. Just plunk a couple in your coffee. Sorry. I've been looking at a lot of MK Ultra stuff. Guess I'll just, sorry. All blissed out and nowhere to go. Guess I'll just chill. Well, I guess I will. And you know what? You can be blissed out and not leave your seat and still go places. Like, I was meditating the other day and I was doing some mudras, and there's there's so many perspectives out there, but I was thinking about this one and what this is. And here, hold on, I think I have that here handy. Oh, come on, what do you do with it? Shoot, I have a chart with them on there. I thought it was there. It probably is there. I've had to take it apart so many times lately that it's kind of a mess. I might have moved it to the living room to hang out. But anyway, this one is supposed to generate power for you. And so I think that means in a number of different ways. The way that you might be familiar with it is to see, like, well, like Jay-Z does it. And then there's also, you'll see people sitting and holding their hand this way. Same thing, it's just held in a different direction. But power, what I read on my mudra chart was that if you're giving a lecture or a speech, it helps you, like, maintain what you're reading. Like, if you, so you don't look down and you get nervous and look at the same thing 30 times and lose your place, like that kind of thing. Or to give you like the wherewithal if you lose your place and forget, and you could just like wing it and make sense and be successful at it. But mainly it's just like a support and to reinforce your own effort. I'm sure it can be taken advantage of or enhanced, whatever. And you know, but it's not like evil. And so I was doing my thing, and then I thought, you know, I do it, but I don't really think to invoke like the words, like I am doing this so that I can receive the power that performing this mudra generates. What I started thinking was, you know what, there's a bunch of people that maybe don't know about it at all and aren't doing anything like it. And I thought, I'm just going to send out like sort of a call for people to invoke their own power, because of the fear that I was talking about at the start. Like, you know, there's thank goodness there's a coalition, loose, not necessarily centralized leadership style at all, coalition of people that are just like, I'm going to do something that helps. And something is better than nothing. And even if the something you're doing, like I was just saying, like people may not believe in this, but you know, it has a very long history, and I believe in it. I believe in its power, and I also believe in its power to trigger an individual's power if I send it with that intent. Like, they have to be open to it, of course, but if they're feeling desperate and scared and like, oh my god, this is the what number day and it's only blah and there's this blah 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 ahead, and like, don't even do that to yourself. You have the power to otherwise preoccupy yourself. Like, you're obviously not going to ignore the situation at hand, like the present that you're presently in, but you don't have to yield to it like tearing you down emotionally and making you depressed and scared. You still have power. You don't have to lay down and like submit. And so, putting it out there, you have power. Don't be worried about what you can do, except that that will come if you calm down and allow it. What you can do will come to you, and it might not look like a singing telegram saying you have power, here's the answer, here's the solution. Don't worry about that. Just know that you're not powerless. That's gonna take you places, I promise you. So, okay, I'm done. Thank you and good night.